Hi, everyone. So another mock interview. Today we have Ranjit, who has around 15 years of IT experience, and we will try to assess where he stands, give him some guidance if I can, and that sort of thing. So we'll try to make or ask some questions which are relevant for various roles. There is not much of a difference nowadays between a junior entry level or an architect. People have to understand different best practices that usually you would expect an architect to know. But even as a DevOps engineer, when you're interacting with people, cloud engineer, interacting with architects, your stakeholders, you have to understand a lot of those things. So we'll try to make it useful for every role, every experience level. So do watch it till the end. So Ranjit, um, if you can brief a little bit about yourself, what sort of experience you bring, tell me a little bit about yourself, what sort of projects you have been doing, and especially your last one or two projects, your key skill set that you bring and key responsibilities that you have been handling.
Sure. Hello, my name is Ranjit Patnaik. I'm working in DXC Technology as a DevOps engineer, and also additionally, I'm taking the role of module lead of one of these application is retailer transaction settlement platform. And the last 10 years, I'm working with this client cell, which is a oil and gas leader in the industry. And I work for our client for various projects till now. And I have involved in this application recently. Means last 4 to 5 years I'm working on that, and this is a critical application. And in this application, we are processing more than 24 countries card transaction, and every day we are running the batch for these 24 countries, and it has been settled into our application. And this is based Java-based application, and we are using this TIPCO Jasper Soft report. We generate the internal reports for our application. And I started my cloud journey in this project, where I took some responsibility to implement a CI/CD pipeline from the scratch. And this was my first pipeline in this project. And right now, somehow we have implemented new tools to our CI/CD pipelines. And my responsibility is to monitor the system performance and troubleshoot any issue uh, while pipeline will be start running. And I'm always keep in mind that I will follow all the DevOps practice and successful deliver. And in same time, I always engage my client. If any issue, I will take promptly get that issue into efficient manner. And yeah.
Okay, good. So when you said you accept payments from multiple countries, so can I assume that your software that you are managing the application deployed in various regions, etc.?
Yeah, actually, it was earlier deployed into 3 different regions: Asia and EMEA and AMS.
Right.
Now we have mm, clubbed together into all the 3 regions to one region. But
Okay.
but yeah, but even though also we are generating this report for the 3 different regions, because we have a user for the our cell for 3 different regions. So depend upon that regions, we are generating this S3 bucket to
Why
place
you
our
move
files.
from three regions to one region?
Actually, due to this cost optimization and for the billing for the cell or client, so they ask us to make for that only we got the project to make, instead of that running to different region, to make club together into one region
Okay.
to do the settlement into one system, one platform.
Okay.
Earlier it was used for the 3 different platform. Now we use for the one platform to settle all the
What were your
cards.
recommendations to customer that if they are moving to one region, what could be the impact of that? Do you see any disadvantage in doing that?
No, we saw that this instead of that earlier what they have used, and currently what is our system is more efficient, as well as settlement is on time, whatever they are expecting. For example, Singapore, whatever they started before that they started, the settlement is done. So they are not waiting for that different region to start the job and process this batch, all this thing.
Okay, it's a batch processing, so it can happen in any region. It's not real-time transactions or
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it is real-time transaction. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Anyway.
I'm fully involved on the production. Actually, yeah, it is
Good.
production.
Okay. So I want to understand a little bit more about your responsibilities in all this entire process. Like, yes, your company has done such a project. What are your responsibilities in that sort of thing?
Yeah, actually, as I told, I have a long time into this project, and before Cloud Journey, I was part of that both the maintenance and application support side. And when we started slowly our Cloud Journey to this our project, I slowly involved to this cloud side to integrate all this. As I told, how to will be startup make automated to job process through the pipeline. Instead of that, we are running manually and generate this artifact and push that artifact to either JFrog or Nexus. But right now also we are using the Nexus to push our artifact. Uh, but that is earlier it was by manual process. And currently we did through the automated process to all the instead of that building through or generating this image Docker image through the Kubernetes cluster, we make all this as a automated process.
Okay, you are still emphasizing a lot of on we did it, or so my suggestion would be in your real interview, if this kind of question is there, you say what you did. What was your role?
Okay,
That
okay,
was the
okay.
specific ask. What
Yeah,
you did in that, because you have previously
yeah,
explained me what the organization did, but
yeah,
usually within that product, or there are certain specific roles, right? That
yeah,
are you managing the CI/CD part of it, or are you working as an
yeah.
architect, or are you working as a
Oh,
project manager, that sort of
yeah.
thing.
So apart from that CI/CD side, and I took the one responsible for that S3 bucket where we have placing all the PC, because this is our card settlement is a part of that PCI and non-PCI compliance. So I'll be take care more on the S3 bucket, how we will be place our internal report, the Jasper report to this particular bucket depend upon the regions, so that user will be not having issue to go and access to the particular we have set up rule. So in S3 bucket, what will be the if any EMEA region user will be try to access, then what will be the bucket name? So depend upon the bucket name, we have I created one policy. So I will not if for example, if we have some PCI report is there and non PCI report is there, non PCI report have been access to all IAM
Okay.
user, but PCI report, even though also IAM user having the access, but they cannot access for particular
Is there
bucket. We
user
have
control in the PCI, or like how did you make your software compliant in this case?
Mostly we have a make a first is that role based. Okay, so role based means I given one example for S3 bucket. So even though also every my team member all user having IMU access, they cannot access particular folder because this having that customer data PCI data. So what we will do, we will be write that bucket policy. So we can restrict that all the IM user, but we have to allow who is the user who then want to access that particular. Apart from the root user, we have given I will get regularly that type of request. So for example, XYZ user want to access this report, so I will be or run that uh, report through this no, I will be apply that rule and run this through CloudWatch, and it will be then after that I will be send mail to the user that yes, you have access now this particular bucket, you can download or you can access that report.
But how do you prove it to the auditor that this is what you have configured?
Yeah, actually, yes, we have a as a we have a part of that PCI compliance because it's car settlement. So I involve yearly once with both our client and our user during the audit. We have a PCI DSSI audit is there, and during that time they will be asked randomly what are the service requests. They will be pick one request, a service request, and ask me to open that service request through this our console, whether this whatever the request came, whether they want to deny access or allow access for the user, then I need to be so to case into this console that yes, well, this request we got last month, and we have did perform this action, and we have made that report, and this is one scenario for the audit. Second thing is that we have some patch is going on for our application, and there also they are asking what are the patch number and when it was happened, and I was involved of this during this patch side. So I will be share that yes, this date we have did the patch into our production system. Mostly we do for the audit for production system only.
But when a batch was processed is something CloudTrail will anyway tell you, right? That's
Yes, batch. Yeah, that actually we share the log, but even also they are asking the particular service request or maybe any SCR or PCR. They want to see that whether we did the whatever the requirement wise we did the performance or not. Yes, CloudTrail also they can validate also, but yeah,
can
that
you
also
tell
part
me,
of this.
five good practices or best practices that you brought in your CI/CD process?
Yeah. First priority as a DevOps engineer, we need to first priority that to make it secure, both its infrastructure side as well as application side. Second thing is that uh, how reliable to this means how our system will be robust, so that even we will not find any issue when start to end of this processing of this batch to this pipeline.
Is that
Batch means that a job that
the
stages whatever defined.
role of DevOps engineer, or in your case, is that the pipeline should pass? Is that the objective?
No, no. If, see, we have an example is that before also we start this cloud journey, we have a sonar queue was there. So first thing is that once build is done, then no, before build, when we will compile this code, we will run the test cases. The test cases it will be go both. It will go to this sonar queue for analysis. Then it will be find out that whether this code whatever they have moved to this system till now has been any bug or any vulnerability or any code smell, there that will be show as a pass or fail. So we have defined that criteria. If this percent is 80% or 70%, then we'll be pass this values to for code. That will not define. That will be our application architect will be sit with us and they will be define this thing. And that same thing will follow into this our pipeline. And same thing, second thing is that we have introduced Trivy as well as dependency check. So what are the POM files we have, that whatever this POM file having the dependencies, if any issue in that or any vulnerability or any, it has been, that also it will be scanned through the dependency check. So
But
that practice also are following.
secure, scan continuously, and
Yeah.
second was your the robustness of the pipelines and
Yeah.
stability of the pipeline.
Scan we are doing for two side. One is file side scanning as well as image side scanning. So both the report to generating.
Any other thing that you have, is it something you have implemented, I'm assuming?
Yeah, actually, as I told, I started my cloud journey from this project. So I was fully involved from this day one, how will be set up all this thing. And apart from that, I also focus on cost optimization. And we did say, I did some cost optimization script through this Lambda, and to find out what are the state of that particular service, or
Tell me
if
three
any
cost
instances.
optimization strategies for a Kubernetes cluster.
Yeah. See, Kubernetes cluster side, we have not doing that much because it is already for a control plan already taken care by the AWS, and worker node only will be take care. And uh, for this, we have not done that much of
But you said you worked on, your environment is Kubernetes driven, right?
yes, 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 yes.
And you said
Uh,
you worked on cost optimization. So what was that?
Cost optimization through this AWS service side, not through like a what. For example, if any pod is not running, or if any pod inside that pod in container is not able to access, but that is normal manual process we are doing. We are running through the either through we can check through the
No,
help
don't
chat.
worry. You tell me your experience about cost optimization. How much cost have you saved for your customer, and what activities, what strategies you adopted?
Yeah, for cost of recently we had one issue that when we will be run any Lambda function, there will be some value in it to be set either 3 seconds or 4 seconds, depend upon that. Minimum set is 3 seconds, but one of the my team member has increased that 5 seconds to 5 minutes. So we found that cost has been increased that because we got every month billing. So we found out that this billing cycle, this has been increases more. Then I investigated and found that one of our team member has increased that reset value from 3 seconds to 5 minutes. So we have asked our team member to
That is a misconfiguration. You debug,
misconfiguration.
found
Yes,
an,
yes, yeah,
that's a
yeah, debug.
you found an issue, fixed it, but that's not optimization. Optimization is,
Yeah,
it is 3 seconds. Either you take it to 1 second, or you create a strategy which saves customer cost, which is less than 3 seconds.
yeah. So one of the cost of optimization is that when we'll get that service request to create EC2 instance, sometimes the developer will ask to create the EC2 instance along with they will be want a pre-install of either Jenkins or Java Maven. They need to want to pre-install to their system. Okay, for example, they want to do some testing. So what we did earlier, we have do all the setup for them like a private subnet, a public subnet, like that we have set everything. If you will create the private subnet, then automatically one NAT gateway will be allocated with the elastic IP. So it will be cost more to the company. Even though also will be test in development environment, it's not required to allocate IP address for particular development team. So if you'll be going to this mobs or pre-prod, then we will be need this elastic IP. So in that case, we have a reduce some cost. So whenever we are creating any EC2 instance for them to pre-install with Jenkins or Maven or Java, we are not we are giving them directly this public subnet. We are not allowing them to create any private subnet, so that we will be that billing will not increase to this IP, that
So
elastic IP.
just to understand this, in your dev environment, you allow teams to host their instances in public subnet.
Public subnet, yes, yes.
But
So
in
we are not allowed that.
your instances will be in private subnet.
Yeah, but right now our DB everything is on premises. Only web server and application server we are using JBoss, that is on our cloud. So DB still is in our on premises. We have not moved the DB to cloud
Is that
because
not a problem? Your on-prem, your dev QA is different from your prod environment then, right? Because they are in
yes,
public
yes, yes, yes.
subnet.
Yes, even also prod also we have a all the environment we have a DB is in on premises. Right now we have planned to move to OCI, Oracle Cloud.
No, don't
So
confuse me. Don't confuse me. Give me some simple understanding. You said just to simplify the things, you make sure your
uh,
developers' machines are in public subnet so you can save cost on the NAT gateways.
yes, yes, yes,
But in
yes.
your production environment, where are those servers? They are in public
Yeah,
subnet or private subnet? Or...
no, yes, yes. In production, we have a web server and application server in public subnet. Sorry, web server is public subnet, and uh, our JBoss application server in backend server is in private subnet. But DB server is in our on premises. We have not moved our DB server to cloud.
Forget about DB server. That's a separate question. But now your dev environment is different from your prod environment, isn't it?
Definitely, yes, yes, yes.
Does it not create problems?
Uh, environment is definitely there will be instance and all will be pod as well. Everything
Not
will
just
be
instance
different. Okay.
size being, you can reduce your instance size if you want to. Your dev is not used that much. You can save on that. But should you save on a NAT gateway and make your dev QA different from your prod environment? Because then the developer is building and testing in a public subnet, but deploying in private subnet.
Yeah, from the deployment, dev and QA, we are not doing this thing. Private subnet we are not touching. When it will be going for that UAT testing or MOPS testing or staging, that time we are using for the uh, private subnet. But until QA, we are in
Okay.
both are in
What
private.
I feel is that this is not a very good example to quote when you are again cost optimization claim, because you are actually bringing more issues in the environment. And just to save a NAT gateway cost for an organization, yes, for individual, my account, if I have to create, I'll probably do that. But if I have to do a POC, I will do that. But a company, because they will be investing a lot to test it multiple times, multiple environments. just to make sure that their private subnets are tested. So I don't see making your dev QA very different from prod and bringing in additional complexity to your environment.
I got that.
You understand, right?
Yeah.
Public subnet has a lot of freedom. Developers will build that, and there is a very good chance once you put it in production or your testing staging environments in private subnets, things will not work. Can you give an example when your developers create something and it doesn't work in higher environments? Are you aware what would happen if something is developed in dev environment, developed in a public subnet, but placed in private subnet later on?
No, I have not encountered this type of issue till now. Yeah.
Especially in your situation where you are being audited, you are being, you have to be compliant. You can't save on such minor cost. There are a lot of
Exactly. Yeah.
because one of the PCI compliance related ask could be that all your data should be privately secured over the AWS network and not over the internet.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that your developers will be developing everything which goes over the internet because they are using public subnets. So that sort of issues you will get.
No, I noted this one.
Yeah, it's not a very good example to on cost optimization, and it's not a good example on security side also, especially in a compliant environment. So think of something else. Build a good, if you are claiming something in interview, back it with a strong evidence, whether you build robust pipelines or cost optimization, because you did mention cost optimization, but you are not able to back it with that. Then Kubernetes also you mentioned, you have in your resume few times, but you are saying that the control plane was managed by AWS and your role was limited. So whatever you are claiming in your resume, make sure you can back it with strong answers. So your answers are good. I like the profile. I probably would go further into this, but you are not backing it with the strong evidence and the strong sort of experience, because these are the questions you are already working on these things. You are living these things day to day, right? So then your answer should be very crisp and short and not very targeted, like, yes, this is what I did. These are the three things I did. First, I did this activity. First, I secured my pipelines. Then I optimized my pipeline and that sort of thing. So it should be very crisp answers. Specifically, I'm asking from your resume. I'm not even going outside of it. Right?
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Now, a little bit about the on-premise database that you were talking about.
Yeah.
How do you prove to your, how your application accesses that on-prem database, first of all?
See, we on-premise database, we don't have access. Okay. So we access through our application server, and we have a AWS Direct Connect we are using. Sometimes we are using in VPN. So we have given that two option. We have got the token. Through the token, will be access through our application server, and we have only read access. We will not execute any query into our production application server. Sorry, DB server. So we will secure in this way through either VPN or AWS.
Do you know what is the difference between VPN and Direct Connect?
When you will use for that VPN, so external user mostly having that VPN access, they can access this either application or DB or whatever the resource they want to access. But Direct Connect with respect only specific to this AWS service.
Hang on. Direct Connect is for?
Only specific to this AWS service.
Okay. Again, slightly vague answer. Just
I'll check that. Yeah.
You're not confident, right?
Yeah.
So, because whenever you are diverting your question to a technology, make sure you understand it. So both these options are sort of accessing your on-prem or on-prem to cloud and cloud to on-prem. bidirectional tunnel is created, but the amount of bandwidth you have in direct connect is much higher. And VPN is more of a short-term solution in such scenarios.
Yeah, cost-wise also, I think this direct connect might be price to this.
Sorry, cost-wise, direct connect is
Cost-wise, direct connect will be more as compared to VPN.
set up a direct connect. It takes longer and it costs higher, but the amount bandwidth is higher. Like you get good response time. VPN usually is to get started, that you want to start and don't want to wait until the direct connect is established. You can start connecting. Give me some example of any good script that you have created, any automation script.
Yeah, as I told, we are processing nearly 24 countries input files into our system.
Mhm.
So I was involved more on automation due to how we will get this files, what are the input file from this cell and sales vendor,
Mhm.
and I make as a shell script. Through the shell script, I automated that process and to connect to their system and process into our application.
Oh.
So this is one of my automation through the processing. Nearly 65 setup we have done for production. Same thing we did for this QA and lower environment. And second optimization is automation is that uh, I want to know any EC2 instance is a running status or stop status or we will be just go checking only stop status. If any instance is not running more than, we will give this condition 30 days or 60 days, we will
Mhm.
be generate some report particular who is having assigned that team this particular instance, then we will be send mail to the particular team that this instance is not running more than 60 days or 90 days, whether you want to terminate or you want to reuse.
Where do you put this script in your environment?
Mostly we will be use our GitHubs. Okay, this is a
Where
GitHubs
will
only particular to our
execute?
this access only to our DevOps team. It
Where
is
will
not access to this.
where will this script execute?
Yeah, we will be put into script into our CloudWatch. Okay, cloud function. Sorry, Lambda function. So
Mhm.
through this Lambda function, mostly I use that Boto 3 modules
But
to
then it's not a shell
write.
script, right?
No, no, just you are asking that to build it any EC2 instance is a stop status, this one or our daily input files?
There is
Which one
one.
you are asking?
I was asking about the same script that detects an instance is stopped from 30 days and notifies. Is that a shell script?
That yeah, that we are run with Python only. We are using
Python
this
Lambda
Boto 3
function.
module Python. Yeah, yeah,
Python and Lambda function.
Lambda function. Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
So emphasize on this because the critical thing in this is Lambda. Because if you are saying we run a shell script, then there are questions where you store, where you run that, where do you store that, why are you using a dedicated computer for that or a compute. This is a very good
Mhm.
example of to implement a Lambda with Python. So even if people are watching, like this is a very good example of learning Python with Lambda. You don't have to learn the entire Python. And how much Python do you know?
Yes, as I from the last 10 year, I'm working on the Linux.
Hmm.
So I have both Perl as well as shell scripting and Python. I am good on that. Yeah.
Learn it through such examples that detect the instance state in your environment and take some actions based on that. Use Boto 3. So, Ranjit, I think I'm pretty much done. Like I sort of enjoyed the discussion. It's you have good hands-on experience. The only thing that I can probably suggest, you may be going, you can ask any specific questions if you have, but I felt that you not going next level like that. I thought that we would probably get into an architect kind of discussion, a senior consultant kind of discussion. That experience is not reflecting, I'm afraid. So you have good
Okay.
experience. You would probably be competing with a lot of DevOps and cloud engineers out there. But I would like to see like with 14 years of IT experience, you would be speaking a lot more technical words and uh, architectural words in your vocabulary. Those things are missing.
Okay. So you emphasize that related to this cost optimization and security, that is main priority thing. So what I need to be more focused on that, uh,
So cost
give
optimization,
scenario.
find some real examples, even if you have not implemented all of them, understand how you can save cost for your customer, whether it's Kubernetes cluster or what are those different opportunities that are possible. Not basic tweaking that you reduced from Lambda, which was to run 5 seconds, running 5 minutes. That's more of a misconfiguration, but you need to find out how you optimize the Docker image size, how you optimize the number of containers that have to run. And based on the right sizing of the container image, you actually reach to a right sizing of the EC2 instance worker node. And in that process, you optimize the number of worker nodes and cost. Something
And
like
for security side,
security, I think you have already implemented some. You didn't talk about secret management in your pipeline where your passwords are stored, how you fetch those secrets in your pipeline, all sort of such examples. If you get a full toss, like give me 3 examples of this, give me 5 examples of this, or give me some best practices that you did, that's your full toss kind of thing. Like you just have to play that very bravely, and your language should be ready that these are the things that I did in my environment. Now, even if you have not done it, make sure you understand that it's possible and you claim that that sort of thing. You are aware that these are other opportunities that can be done.
okay.
But overall, the language that you are speaking sounds like that of a DevOps engineer, cloud engineer, not as a senior person or a senior consultant or a senior expert architect, those higher roles. So I don't want you to compete with those junior DevOps engineers and cloud engineers at this level. So build a good vocabulary. Those words like scalability, multi-region, disaster recovery, uh, what you see in the job descriptions, make sure you are speaking those words, right?
Okay.
These words should come up: RPO, RTO, how many customers we engage with, those uh, multi-customer, multi-region, multi-environments. The pipelines are smart enough that they can deploy to, you have like UAT staging, and I don't know how many environments. So what you do in those different environments, branching and merging strategies, whatever you discuss with your architects, just bring that experience in your interview, that's your experience. So the language and the words have to be focused more.
Okay.
You have done good hands-on, but back it with real good technical words. That would, I would suggest, will go far, take you.
Yeah, sure.
So what's the plan? After this, you gonna work on it. We can get into another mock.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, yeah,
We can
yeah.
get into another
Will be
discussion.
correct,
Or
correct.
if you actually get a real interview lined up in future, or
Mhm.
you just want to practice, you can just bring that job description. That Sanjeev, this is a real job that I have to go for. What questions can be there, or what sort of words I can speak, which will increase your chances of getting success. So we can discuss on that later.
Okay, so how will be contact to you through
Have
the
my number.
same? Okay, okay, same number. Okay,
Yeah, you have my phone number. We can connect.
connect. Okay,
But
yeah.
focus on the Google it or
This
ask
area.
GPT. What are those technical words? Or ask look at a job description that you want to target, put it in Chat GPT and ask what are the architectural keywords in this resume. Give me the keywords in this job description, and key words like main focus words, and just go through them. Most of the time you will see audit, security, compliance, you will see disaster recovery, scalability, and blue, green, or something like that. So focus on those words. You have to speak those words later on.
Okay.
whether you record some video of yourself, whether you speak at a place, or you, whatever is the opportunity, you just try to speak those words whenever you get chance, and try to relate those keywords with your experience that, okay, I did multi-region deployments. Then first you speak to yourself, you convince yourself that you know all these words, you know disaster recovery, you know security, you know scalability. Then automatically in the interviews, things will start to, you will automatically start speaking those words. First you have to practice, then you start speaking those words.
Sure, sure. Yeah,
Just
noted
explain
this.
it to yourself, explain it to the mirror, explain it to a video, explain it to a person, explain it to your community, some juniors, and it will make so much impact on your interviews and your speaking ability.
Yeah.
That fluency will come, like very fluently you will talk, that those keywords will flow from all directions, that that will showcase that you are an expert. But you have to practice it.
Exactly.
All right. I will wish you best of luck, and then we'll connect sometime.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Bye.